Hey, happy Sunday night, Comics Gate. What's going on, brothers in the chat? We got people in the chat already. Appreciate you guys being here with me and Rob for Comics, Smackdown, Smack Talk. I forgot the name of the show. Whatever the fuck we're doing here.
Oh yeah,
Rob,
dude,
how you doing?
Comics. I'm doing fantastic. I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope everyone out there is doing decent. I hope they're doing decent. Clint and I, we need all the fantastic energy. Everyone else can be decent.
I like fantastic energy around me all the time.
Same here.
Let's say hey to the chat. We got a few people in the chat already. Hail everybody. Hail Marcus, what's going on, brother? We've been gone for a couple of weeks here, so it's great to see everybody back. I got Randy in the chat. Hail, hello, Randy. What's going on, brother? Let's scroll down here. Scotty Richard Studios, man, welcome. Hey, that looks like a new name. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you here. Love to see new faces. As I should say, and I think Randy said in the chat, if you can hit that like and then subscribe. We're trying to build a subscription list here and trying to build this little channel up here. But we talk comics and pop culture Thursdays and Sunday nights, and we kind of move it around. Football season's on, so I think at some point we might make a hard move to Tuesday so that I don't know if Rob gives a shit about football, but I like to get drunk and just watch football. So Sunday nights are kind of my, I watching
Sacred day.
Yeah, I'm watching the Dolphins kind of school the Patriots right now in the back corner of my eye. I can watch it on the peripheral. So Rob, as always, is here to fuck shit up.
I will, in a positive and in a negative way, because that's what I do best.
Yeah, I think Randy pointed out that we're competing, like we're going to do great numbers tonight because we're competing against like Malin's Closeout with Shane and Mandy over there. And I mean, they might just have a slight few more followers than us. So whatever.
I noticed I didn't get an invite. I didn't even get an invite to that Closeout.
But I was
so sad.
Everybody go back. Malin's a godlike variant with Dale's variant cover, which is absolutely freaking gorgeous. So
dude,
if you haven't backed Malin's godlike now, I think this is it, because I think the update I saw is going to be shipping out before the end of the year. So I think
in demand.
This is it. Yeah, no in demand. It ends tonight. So back Malin's godlike and get that. It's going to be a pretty kick-ass looking book. I'm looking forward to getting that one myself here. Southern Cecil in the house. What up, brother? The important people are here. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. All the important people are here.
Our diehards are here.
You speaking the truth, brother.
Yeah, I would like to get to the point where I am so successful I don't do in demand.
Yeah.
And I just like cross my arms and just go, no in demand for you.
I'm not. It's not even for me. It's not even about. I've kind of thought about doing 30 days and no in demand just so I can get more material out. Because you go in demand, that's 2 months, and or you extend, it's 2 months, then in demand, and like I can get more books out, but when your campaign runs like 4 to 6 months, it's like you're only maxing out at 2 books a year. I'd really like to get on the kind of 3 books a year kind of timetable, and it's just a matter of like how well the books do. Because I'd love to get rid of in demand and just be like, I'm gonna run a campaign 60 days, boom, that's it, and then I'm gonna ship those books. Books are gonna be done. I'm gonna ship them out, and I'm moving on to the next campaign. I like to kind of keep things rolling, which is a little foreshadowing.
What would be
we're gonna do a little box opening.
Oh, nice!
Later on here, a little teaser. Got a
look at
fresh. That. I can smell the fresh comics inside this. It's like fresh fruit at the grocery store.
Clint, how many books? How many books in one of those boxes?
I don't know.
roughly?
A lot, enough to make it heavy because I'm sweating right now.
Oh, okay. Is there like 100 books in a box?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, all right.
I got trying to think of what, because I still got one book coming in from the printers, so that wasn't all of the books there. But yeah, I got 5 boxes. It's got to be 500 comics around
Oh,
there.
okay,
So
cool.
yeah. So
What do you think of this? What do you think of getting to the point where no in demand, you set up the campaign, you ship to the backers, but you overprint, and that goes in a store, but you have a store where it specifically states before anybody orders any books are packed, orders are done on Thursday, books are packed on Friday. Like have it like die hard, like hey,
it would have to be something like that. Like
yeah,
if I was going to do an online store, and this is almost kind of more the way I would do it. If I was going to overprint and do an online store, it would be books ship on 30 days. So like whatever orders come in for the next month, at the end of the month, there's a cutoff, and I'll overprint and I'll ship that. But even that, I don't. I just
you still carry an inventory.
I'm still carrying inventory. Like I've got limited space. Like I've got space, but I got limited space. I don't have one of these EVS warehouses.
Dude, he's got 2.
And also, I like the fact that I'm rewarding my backers that are on the campaign to begin with. Because if you start stringing it out, it's like it takes away some of the emphasis, the excitement of being in the campaign. I got this book. I got a limited print run. I don't like stringing it out. Like I'll give a variant cover.
Yeah, there's perks connected to the campaign too, right? If the campaign does really well, there's all that extra stuff that you can now pack in their boxes and you make for them. But if it becomes a store thing, then you're not really doing that anymore. Then
I don't think it would be. I don't see me doing a store anytime soon. It would have to be down the road, and there would have to be like a real reason for me to do it. I like the idea of running the campaign, having backers excited about the campaign, having it be a collectible book with lots of extras that they're only going to get, that kind of stuff, then stringing it out farther. Like I will offer, like people, miss campaigns, and I will offer books again, but it'll be a variant cover. It'll be a second printing type of book where like if you got the first book on the first campaign, that's it. That's a limited print run, and it's a collectible. So I kind of like sticking to that more myself.
Maybe if your popularity expanded so fast that every month you got another 100 people saying, "Hey, I missed your book."
Yeah.
Like if that kind of, there's a steamroll effect, snowball effect of it. You're like, your channel's growing so fast and the orders are growing so fast that people just can't, you keep getting so many new people in, then maybe you would, because then it's a amount of success where you do have the space and you do have the budget to have a warehouse or whatever, just an extra space for stuff.
And Randy makes a good point here with Fund My Comics too, which is still Fund My Comics is still something I definitely want to try, even just like a variant cover at some point, giving an option out there, because I really like the idea of Fund My Comics, and I love what they're doing over there. But it's literally just kind of figuring out the logistics, just because each campaign is kind of a beast in and unto itself. And then to like do like a separate thing just to try it out. Like there's a lot of work involved. So it's like, you don't want to try something out just to try it out. Like I want to do something on Fund My Comics, but I want to make it like have an impact when I do it. So that's kind of the logistics for me of trying to figure that out. But
Makes
yeah,
sense.
there's a lot of options out there. That's the nice thing that's going on with Comicsgate, with crowdfunding, is there are way more options than there were even like 10 years ago now. It's amazing how much it's kind of blown up into this new thing where it's kind of become an industry of its own, which is awesome, because all it does,
Yeah.
it gives more opportunities, it gives more options to both the creators and the fans, and it's
Mhm.
like it works great both ways, because you can back artists. For fans, you can really back the artists you believe in, and love their work, and like see it develop. And then for the creators, it gives you that freedom where you're not shackled to these corporate mega giants that are just gonna like eat up your IPs and like shit on your
Oh,
ideas and pay you pennies
that's a
on the nose for your hard work. Like there's more horror
that
stories.
that's a great segue, Clint.
Yeah.
Segue. You could segue right into Fables, the
Yeah, let
Fables
me let
story, if
me
you'd
let me
like.
pull up the Fables. We're going to talk a little bit about Fables tonight, just what's going on with Bill Willingham, and apparently DC just put out a statement on it, which
Ooh.
DC rarely makes a statement on anything, but
No, yeah.
there is a reason why DC is doing this. I always just have a little bit of trouble switching screens here. So yeah. So the first domino that fell was Bill Willingham had been posting on Twitter about his difficulties with DC, with publishing his works through Fables. And like, I am not going to pretend that I know Fables well. I know of it, and I know that he's been doing it for a while, but I'm not going to pretend that I know the whole backstory on this. But this is like basically a creator-owned book that DC's publishing, and he has a contract with DC for them publishing it. And what a shock. It's not a contract that's very beneficial to the creator of the publication. So the one post I saw from Bill is that he had sent them scripts for the most recent books 2 years ago, and DC is making no effort to get these books out on a timely manner to his fan base whatsoever. And so, and this is just me gathering what little knowledge I get from Twitter, like the rest of us. But Bill is sick and tired of DC on how they're handling his book. And so he basically put his rights out to Fables to public domain. This is where all of the Twitterverse, all of the comic nerds, all of the SJWs all got their panties in a twist. Can he do this? Does he have the ability to do this? What rights does DC hold on these copyrights and trademarks? What rights does Bill hold on this? But Bill didn't give a shit about that. He's just doing it, and it's like Fables is public domain. My rights to it are entered into public domain. So it caused quite the kerfuffle among the industry. And so Bill Willingham makes public domain, or makes Fables public domain, after fight with DC Comics. So this kind of tells you a little bit about what's going on here. And let me just see if I can scroll down.
And Bill actually mentioned that they still owed him money from the video game they made of Fables. He says,
yeah, there was a game. There was a game
yeah,
that they were shortchanging him on that too. So
yeah, he says that DC keeps acting like they own it, that they own the property outright, and they keep.
Yep.
He says that they would solicit hardcovers, and they put out hardcovers that he had no insight in, or
Yep.
they would just. He's like, you can't just do that. And they're like, oh, he said that he got tired of them saying the same thing over and over again. Oh, sorry, Bill. We'll make sure you're in the loop next time. And he said that they said that again and again.
Oh yeah, they're just leaving him out of any decision making, and then you have some assistant editor who has no say in anything, just apologize like, oh, we didn't mean to do that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you guys are just doing whatever you want, and you don't care about any of it. So In answer to far too many requests, I'm attempting to explain these delays in Fables Black Forest since DC refuses to do so. Short version, I handed in every script more than 2 years ago, and for multiple reasons, haven't worked with for DC since I fired them. So yeah, so that's the point where he's like getting rid of them. So I mean, there's a lot more nuance into this than I can probably get into here, but I mean, the whole this is where your hand gets burnt when you're dealing with a bigger publisher. Is they don't care about creator rights. They don't care about. I mean, Bill Williamson and Alan Davis can like sit around and talk about what a great company DC is to work for as a creator and letting them control your rights. I mean, DC has been screwing Alan Moore over for decades on the Watchmen rights. So DC as a corporation has a long history of this. And like, it's funny, Jim Lee as president, like he brought Alan Moore into Wildstorm into the whole ABC thing. And then when Alan Moore got caught a whiff of that Jim was going to actually sell Wildstorm to DC, he was So it's all about the bottom line. It all comes down to usually money and people's egos, and this just seems to be another case of it. But yeah, DC did. Let's see. Let me pull up the. DC actually released a statement, which is rare, but in the article they kind of point out why DC actually did make a statement, because they normally do not comment on this stuff. So DC releases a statement on Fables. It is not in the public domain, and that is directly from their lawyers. The comic world is abuzz with Bill Williams' statement announcing he was putting Fables in the public domain yesterday as a result of mistreatment by DC Comics. And now DC Comics is fired back with a rare corporate statement. The Fables comic books and graphic novels published by DC and the storylines, characters, and elements therein are owned by DC and protected under copyright laws under the United States and throughout the world in accordance with applicable laws and are not in the public domain. DC reserves all rights and will take such action as DC deems necessary or appropriate to protect these intellectual properties. So yeah, that makes it real clear what the like. We've got our lawyers all dialed up. It's a clear shot across the bow to anyone who is thinking of making their own Fables fiction or comics, which based on social media, few people were thinking about doing. It's also the clearest statement yet on the copyright issue surrounding the property. According to filings, DC assigned copyrights to Willingham by agreement over the years. So then it gets into the nitty gritty. And
now, what's funny is the timeline, because Bill, some of the things he said on Twitter about how DC became less and less friendly with his rights and with corresponding with them, and how constantly the editors would be replaced with a different editor, and every time someone was replaced, they would always, he said, more and more they were taking DC side and not his side on, at being as the creator. And it's funny that because the whole time he's talking about it, I started at DC in 2008, and I worked at DC until like 2016 or 2017. And that time period, Rob Liefeld explained the specifics of what happened at WB and DC on a podcast. And Rob said that because Rob was also at DC in 2008, 2009. And he said the first couple of years he was at DC, Warner Brothers had DC labeled as creator. Like it was like the different sections of the corporation, and they were listed. DC was listed as talent. So DC and Warner Brothers had DC was as important as the actors and the directors and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And Rob even said that they got the creators that were living out there got invited to the big parties that only the movie stars get invited to.
Oh wow.
And he said that they, you could tell the look on their faces like, what's this comic book dork doing here? Well, why is he at this party?
Sure.
So and he said that didn't last very long.
Yeah, I bet.
And he said, and I remember the time frame because I look back and I go, all of a sudden foreign royalties disappeared out of my check. Yeah. And I think it's all that time when they brought in a new president at DC. That's when they had moved DC from talent back into merchandising. That's when foreign royalties disappeared. Right before foreign royalties disappeared, Jim Lee made a promise that they were going to cut a check twice a year for digital books.
Right.
I got one check for digital books. I never got another check again.
Yeah.
No one ever got a check again.
Yeah, that was short-lived.
Chuck, and so as soon as DC when Warner Brothers pushed DC back into merchandising, all of a sudden DC was thought of as like sales like mugs and shit. Yeah. Like not people and not creators and not we have rights. It's all we're selling. They're selling pens and they're selling mugs and they're selling posters.
I want to point.
That just shows it, dude. That just shows you exactly.
And like Fritz. I want to make sure I pronounce his name right. Fritzy Schnitzel, which is a great name. Fritzy Schnitzel makes a great point here because we both have tons of friends in comics, and there's certain dudes, and like I know guys that are exactly the SJW kind of commie, anti-capitalist, woke douchebags that this describes. Self-described anti-capitalist progressives defending a corporate media giant against labor. Their level of hypocrisy is incredible. Bingo. It is smack dab. You nailed it on the head. I know guys that like wear little commie hats and are progressives and woke and far left and brag about it, but they're sucking the teat of DC Comics, Warner Brothers corporate, and they've got their juicy little spot and they'll defend it to the hilt, and just hypocrisy levels beyond you can imagine. But they think they'll defend it to the hilt because they've got their little spot. And I saw somebody posting about these people like going into comics and like saving it, but really just going in there to get their good paying jobs and then using politics to edge people out of jobs. And it has nothing to do with the politics. It has nothing to do with their beliefs. It has everything to do with jealousy and trying to get those sweet comic book gigs and suck off the corporate teat. These are like great jobs, or you're just drawing comics, you're making top dollar, you're under that corporate umbrella, you go to your conventions, you sell your artwork for a ton of money because it's got Batman or Superman or Spider-Man on it.
Exactly.
It has nothing to do. They'll pretend it's about their beliefs. It's pretend they hate Donald Trump, but all of that was just an excuse to get themselves in there and wedge out other people from other jobs. That's all it's ever been about. The second they say it isn't, they're hypocrites and they're liars, and that's all it's ever been about.
Even the moment DC moved to California, editors that followed DC to California and all the new editors they had to hire, because a lot of editors would not go to California, they realized, we do work for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is just down the street. They and I heard this from multiple creators. That was the wall. Like if you wanted a date of when DC would always decide it was in the interest of Warner Brothers and DC, not on the creators, it was the day they moved to California, because now all those editors and other people in the offices, they all wanted to work for Warner Brothers and they didn't want to work for DC Comics.
Yeah.
And the way to work for Warner Brothers is to show how good and how high your profits are at DC Comics.
Yeah.
So sell out the creators to try to get in good with Warner Brothers.
Yep. Yeah, that move out to California, I mean, that was a huge shift on a lot of different levels for DC.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
really changed the way the company was, the way it was run,
Mhm.
the people working there. Like it was, I mean, it just changed it entirely. And I mean, it makes sense that it would, but it was just like I always remember one of my comic book pro friends telling me like Paul Levitz purposely kept DC under the radar of Warner Brothers corporate because he knew the second the corporate level starts paying attention to DC, they'll pick it apart and destroy it. And it won't be DC Comics won't look anything like what it used to look like.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
when Paul Levitz got whatever that transition was to, I think it was to Dio, and I mean then there's Diane Nelson and just all the corporate people at DC. They wanted that Hollywood attention,
Yes, they
and
did.
and it's I mean Jim's still there. God bless him. Jim Lee's still there. Jim is the cockroach. He cannot be destroyed. And I mean that in the best, most respectful term. I don't think Jim Lee's a cockroach. I think he's an amazing artist, one of the top talents of the generation. But like, yeah, they can't really get rid of Jim, but they got rid of everybody else. So good for Jim, and I'm glad he's still there. I still love Jim's art.
Did they get rid of like Jeff Johns out of the Warner
like
Brothers?
I think I've heard that Jeff is still writing stuff there, but that probably has more to do with Jeff's ties with
DC.
But like Jeff got X'd out at everything that was a bigger deal than comics. I mean, Jeff was executive producer on the movies, and now he's like Jeff doesn't have. Are they getting rid of the Superman and Lois TV show? I think that was his last thing that he had his fingers in.
I don't know. I know a buddy of mine got along really well with Jeff.
Oh, so Jeff's a good guy, I think.
Yeah. When Jeff moved to WB, my buddy moved over to WB, and I'm like, and he goes, I think I'm gonna miss comics. And I told him, I'm like, dude, you're not gonna miss comics. Go make the big money. Hopefully Marcus says Jeff was canceled. Hopefully my buddy still has his position.
The cyborg actor tried his damnedest to try and get Jeff canceled, calling him a racist or whatever. But I just like that was creative decisions, and like that actor, like he was just bitter that his role got cut down, so he was going to lash out in any way that he could. And I'm sure he had Zack Snyder's backing to like do it. So,
well, did you ever watch the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, the 4-hour movie?
Yeah, I did.
We really liked it. It was difficult to get through it all in one sitting, but that was a movie that would have launched Cyborg movie well. It would have launched the Flash movie really well. Like it really gave everybody their spot.
It set everything up, but it was like 5 hours long. And like literally Cyborg was almost like the main character of the storyline, and that's why it's like it's not hard to figure out why this actor was so pissed. Like he was set up for a huge movie career, and basically Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon came in there and was like, nah, nobody wants to see a Justice League movie with Cyborg as the star. And they like cut his part down to nothing. And yeah, the guy's gonna be pissed. So like that
nobody
whole
wants
thing
to see
was
Cyborg.
obvious.
Nobody wants to see a Cyborg in Justice League in the first place. You don't want Cyborg. Cyborg is a Teen Titans. He's a Teen Titan, man. He should be in Teen Titan.
You can get into all the ramifications and why they did that, but yeah, it was all mistaken. So yeah, like DC is a mess. Marvel is a mess. That's why we're all in Comicsgate. That's why we're creating our own projects. And speaking of our own projects, I had yours pulled up, but let's take a look because you are getting damn close to 20,000, and we just got to keep pushing. You keep
I
putting out
know.
new artwork on Twitter, and everybody, if you're not following Rob on Twitter, you're doing yourself an injustice because he keeps posting awesome stuff. And
It's Rob Hunter Art on
at
Twitter.
Rob
It's the
Hunter
same.
Art on Twitter,
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
him.
And IG, it's the same on IG.
Oh,
And
okay.
actually, on Facebook, which I don't go to very often, I actually, if you can do, do you remember when you could do, you could pick your own address on Facebook?
Right.
I'm the comic artist or the comic book artist.
Oh, okay.
So that's how
Nice.
early I was on Facebook. I actually got the comic
gift.
book artist. Yeah, I think it's the comic book artist. Or you just type in my name, Rob Hunter Comics, and I'm gonna show up.
It'll pop up. Should I
Fighting for
scroll through the
20K.
page here, or should we play the video first?
I think everybody's seen the trailer like a million times, right?
I know, but it never hurts. It's like,
all right, play it.
it's like you just a reminder of all what you got going on here.
Cryborg, Marcus. There's Randy. Randy knows more about our shit than we do.
Randy's awesome. Woo!
Yeah.
Nice. So Death Raider is in demand right now on Indiegogo. And if you were checking this on the replay and you haven't seen this yet, go back it now.
And I've got like 20 pages. I think it's less than that. 20 pages of black and white there. 20 pages is a good solid number. 20 pages left of black and white. And I will be finished with the first issue.
Nice.
I think technically I technically have less than that because I have a bunch of pinups that I initially wanted to throw in the book.
Yeah.
Like my Ripper character and stuff, that Barbarian one that I've shown on Twitter a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Barbarian on the horse. But as story eats up more and more of the pages, the page count
just fills it up.
Yeah. And I've even pulled a few pages out too, just the way things are paced. I changed the pacing a little bit depending on.
You've kind of been tweaking it as you go along to fit the storyline, basically.
Exactly, and I knew that's how I planned on it when I wrote it. I left a big openings for, if I ended up pacing a sequence with a few more pages, I wanted to just be able to have that freedom. Like pretty much his origin story is him and his team getting ambushed. I expanded that by at least 6 pages. So, you know what I mean? And I knew like, oh, this is, if I'm expanding this by 6 pages, I gotta cut pages here. I gotta cut pages there. And it's just, how, to be honest, I have my outline and it's just how it feels, because that's what's great about being an artist and also writing.
Well, yeah. The story kind of plays itself out and you just kind of,
in my head as I'm doing the layouts. So that's what I've been doing. And I'm trying to be flexible with that too. I don't want to, especially not on my first project. I don't want to, everything's concrete, etched in stone.
Oh,
because when you do that, man, you leave a lot of really cool ideas on the table. And I don't want to leave any cool ideas on the table.
That's the thing about working as a writer artist when you're creating your own stuff is you have the flexibility to kind of like the story's kind of set in your as you're working on it. But like as you're working on it, it'd be like, oh, this is cool, and you can kind of run with something that you think is more fun. Like there's a flexibility to it, as opposed when you're like a writer-artist team. The writer knows he has to write everything out ahead of time for the artist to get it the way he wants it. But as a writer-artist, there's way more flexibility as you're going through the story. You can kind of pursue things that you might not have thought of.
Yep,
as the story
exactly.
plays itself out, and you're like, oh, this is a cool part of the story, or this is a character that I want to have more of a impact because he's fun to draw or looks cool or whatever. So
Yeah, it's
so here, like, this is kind of what we're just talking about. So I'll let you go first, Rob. Like, how do you kind of work? Do you write full scripts out for yourself or a plot?
I wrote out a plot, and then I paced out I literally paced out the main sections of the story that are the most important. So for me, the main the main segments are obviously the first time you see Death Raider in his armor. So there's that sequence. There is the when he goes into the emergency room in the hospital because he's been injured. That's also a separate sequence. Then um, them fighting, them actually seeing like their last mission. That's a big sequence. And then the creation of the cyborg bad guys. That's another sequence. And so I wrote it so that I paced it out for myself in segments, and the transition pages that you would normally see in like a tight script, I left those open specifically so I could steal pages if I wanted the cyborg scene to be longer, or
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm like, oh, I can tell a lot of the story in 6 pages or 4 pages instead of 8 pages. I'm like, well, that gives, well, now I can give the hospital scenes a few more pages if I like. And I really left it like very open, those segments, so that they could literally, flex, one gets bigger, one gets smaller kind of thing. And, so it's not a tight script. I didn't want to do a tight script because as I worked on the pages, like Clint and I just said, I got a bunch of fun ideas that I knew, oh wait, that sounds really cool. I want to do that. That's really cool. I want to do that. I had a lot more fun doing the soldier pages than I initially thought I was going to, even though I specifically, when I created Death Raider, I wanted a superhero and I wanted to do soldiers. I had a lot more fun drawing the soldiers than I thought I would, so I expanded, and it
Mm-hmm.
just kind of felt right because I'm like, this is, Team Core, this is their last mission. I
Sure.
want to show him being
You want
badass as a soldier.
to
So
and get the impact of getting
yeah,
story wise.
exactly. So that's what I did.
Yeah,
Clint.
I wing it a little bit, so I'll come up with like the main idea of the story when I do it, but then I don't write anything. What I do is I'll do like stick person. I'll take an 8.5 by 11 piece of typing paper and I'll turn it into like 9 pages, like with lines. So it's each
Uh huh.
page, each 8.5 by 11 has 9 pages on it, and I'll just go through stick figure, and I'll like kind of lay out the story in panels and like what I want to happen for each page, and that'll be kind of the way I write the story. And
Oh,
then
you write it by thumbnails.
yep, it's thumbnails basically. Yep, little
Yeah.
stick
Yep.
figure thumbnails, and then I'll know what I was doing with that story, and then I'll go and dialogue it after I draw the book, basically, or while I'm drawing the book. I'll kind of dialogue it as I go. I'll leave little
Mm-hmm.
notes in there for me so that I remember like what I was going for, the point I was trying to make. But like, yeah, I'll dialogue everything afterwards. So that's kind of my writing process. But yeah, it's
I like
mostly
that. A
just
lot of guys do that. John
yeah,
Romita
it
Jr. does
works.
that.
It works pretty good for me, and that it's like I'm not sitting in as the artist. You like know what kind of background, where the characters are coming from, the motivation. You don't have to write all that stuff out to like kind of know where the story is headed. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of my process on that one. So if you guys are checking this out here, if you're new to Comic Smack Talk Live, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then go to Indiegogo and check out Death Raider. It is in demand. Rob is absolutely killing it on this book. It looks gorgeous. We're creeping up on 20,000 here. We want to push it over that and go beyond. So amazing book. Rob's killing it on the art, and
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no, it's I love every time you post new pages. I'm like, God, this book looks awesome. So I am going to be launching a new book in two
Oh,
weeks. We'll show a
two weeks.
quick little preview of it. We're going to be launching on our dear friend Art T Bear, comic book legend, artist on X-Men, artist on Superman, Adventures of Superman, Death of Superman. Art's done it all, and he is nice enough to have us on his show once in a while, and we deeply appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
We deeply appreciate it. So Art's gonna let me launch my new book, Maidens of Mayhem, which features where is it here? Here we go. Features a bunch of my female adventure characters. And I kind of describe my comics as they're not all comedies, but they're kind of adult oriented action adventures, and some of them comedies. Blue Bombshell's definitely got a comedy element to it. So does Pirate Queen. Sword Maidens is kind of more if Red Sonja had a little sister, a twin sister. It's very if you love Cordrath with Andy Smith's book, if you love Conan, if you love Red Sonja, Sword Maidens is very much of that vein. It is adult oriented. All these three stories in Maidens of Mayhem are going to be adult only. They're going to contain adult content and nudity. So just fair warning. 60 pages, full color, 3 stories, one featuring Blue Bombshell with her, The Revenge of the Tromboner. The tromboner returns to make the Blue Bombshell's life difficult. I wanted the title of the story Tromboned, but and then a new Pirate Queen story, and then a Sword Maiden's kind of origin story in this book. So this will be coming up 2 weeks. We're going to be launching on Art T Bear's channel, Pontificators. So hopefully all you guys show up. I did a Blue Bombshell sketch. Want to see Scotty Richards Studio? Yeah, I don't know if I can like show it here, but post it to me on Twitter for sure. I love seeing fan art, Scotty, man. Post it on Twitter and I'll share it because I love seeing Blue Bombshell fan art. I've had a few people post that stuff, and it's always really cool. But I don't know. Well, I suppose if he posted on Twitter, I can like share it.
Yeah. Or if he DMs you a JPEG.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, if you DM me image on Twitter, I can maybe share it. That'd be cool. So yeah, pull it up. Yeah, sure, pull it. Yeah, DM me on Twitter. That's the best way. I DM'd it to Clint. Here, let me take a look here. But here, I'll play the video while I'm trying to pull this up. Kill two birds with one stone.
I have a creator question for you, Clint.
Sure.
When you're working on the book, do you design all the characters ahead of time? Like if there's a villain that you haven't decided, do you not design it until you get to those pages? Like now you
a lot of times like I'll have names. I've got a whole there's going to be a new art book for Maidens of Mayhem. It's going to be very Blue Bombshell oriented. So a lot of the pinups and stuff that I've been posting on Twitter will be in the art book. I'm going to have maybe a little 5-page short story, Blue Bombshell story, because next year Blue Bombshell 2 is coming out. So this will be kind of a little warm up for Blue Bombshell 2 next year. But I'm going to do a little rogues gallery thing where I've got the character designs for some of her bad guys. She's going to be facing off against a guy who can create multiple versions of himself. He's called Gangbang.
Of course he's called that.
There's a new kind of dog character. Is named Raw Dog. Trying to think of some of the other.
So you don't design the characters until you get to that page.
I come up with names, and then I'll draw. I'll maybe do a sketch or some ideas ahead of time. But a lot of times I'm like drawing it on the page and being like, with digital, it's so easy to like Like,
Just yeah,
like a
erase,
lot of
fix,
times I'm
change.
figuring out stuff as I'm doing it on the page, and I just, you know, a lot of the stuff I'm doing is just I'm doing it, and there it is.
You know, I did the same thing with Hercules until like literally I decided I wanted to draw the Hercules splash only because I was like, I think it's time to actually decide because I was
Oh,
like,
sure.
is he gonna be kind of big? Is he gonna be really big? Is he gonna be
Oh,
Hulk
yeah.
big? Like and I was just finally I was just like, let me just draw the
Let me
splash
draw them
page
and
where I
see.
could.
Yep, see what it looks like. Yep.
And
No,
the alien queen, I still have. I just all I know is she's supposed to be hotter than everyone else, and she's got long hair. But I have no idea about her costume or armor or anything.
oh
Like
yeah.
I'm
Yep.
just not until I have to draw her will I like sit down and go, okay, now you actually got to design.
Yeah,
Got to design the
absolutely.
look.
So
Oh,
here, let me
Marcus,
see. Let me see if I can pull up Scotty's.
the 69 gang. How dare you, Marcus?
X-ray specs. So there we go. That will be launching in 2 weeks from now on Friday night on Arts Channel, Pontificators. So definitely, you guys all swing by and stop by for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fun book. If you like action adventure with a tinge of comedy to it, but yeah, that's the next big thing here. I did get Scotty's pin up here, and it looks great, Scotty. Nice job, man. I love seeing fan art of my characters. Absolutely one of my favorite things. So let me pull this up here. And my only comment would be, I'm not sure you made her breasts big enough. Would be anatomically, she looks great. I love the layout. It's well drawn. Great anatomy on her. I love the action, kind of her floating through the air, the wind in her hair, and the cape and everything. Just bigger boobs, man. That's my thing with these characters is I'm trying to fit as much boob on the page as I possibly can. She always needs to look like she might just tip over forward a little bit. But no,
and whenever you do a
I'm teasing you,
sketch,
Scotty. I'm teasing because that's a great drawing. I love it, man.
yeah,
Appreciate you sharing that with us, brother. That's awesome.
whenever you do a sketch, just adding a couple of background elements always
Oh yeah,
enhances
just
it
even some
by
clouds
yeah.
or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
but no,
Or like
it's
the
a great.
top of a skyscraper. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to do a ton, just a little bit, and maybe even a couple of speed lines or something like that, or a bird. Like that turns it from fan art where you draw just a figure to a complete illustration is what you turned it into. So it's cool though. I like it.
But great drawing and like
Mhm.
great anatomy. Like you're a very good artist because like the female form, not the easiest thing to draw and make look hot, and you definitely made her look great. So
Mm-hmm.
awesome, man.
And Bart Sears always gave me advice. He said, when it comes to hands for heroes, always draw them a little bigger,
Oh,
especially for guys, but even with female characters, because the first thing that we all look at when we look at a drawing, we look at the face and we look at the hands. So
no,
it doesn't hurt to draw the hands a little bigger than you think. You know, not I mean, look at it. We're not drawing when we draw superheroes. We're not drawing them in our proportions. You know,
right.
they all have tiny heads and giant, chests, whether they're
Yeah. Yeah.
every Batman that I worked on at DC Comics, he was 6'6" and 350 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
there's only a few pro wrestlers who can pull that off.
Batman made NFL defensive ends look like small guy.
Exactly. Yeah, he's an acrobat in the air. You're like,
Yeah.
wow, how the fuck's he doing that?
Yeah, and then he's just swinging around the city on his like little wire, and he weighs like 275, 300 pounds.
With his arm, with one armed, like you're like, wait a minute, how strong is this guy really?
Yeah.
So, on the note of Blue Bombshell,
Mm-hmm.
Clint, would you like to see my Megan Fox Blue
yes.
Bombshell by AI?
Yes, I do. I am very interested in seeing that. So,
all right, I will have to present.
Yep.
Share screen. And share
yeah,
screen.
I'm interested in seeing this AI stuff because I am very curious about it.
Let's see. I think it's. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Megan Fox, nice.
And I've mentioned on Twitter. Now, if you go to a con and you sell prints of this, obviously you can tell where the AI. They always say that AI.
You can tell AI now. It has a real look to it.
Yeah, like you can look at how goofed up her collar is.
Oh yeah,
but
and
if
the hair coming around the neck.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that looks cool.
Yeah, but if you use AI as a reference point or or a place to start,
sure,
that's as an artist, we all can do that. I mean, like literally, like think of how fast that was done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's all you wrote in is Megan Fox with large breast, Power Girl outfit, and blue hair.
That is it.
Wow, that's cool.
Two sentences.
They made her almost kind of X-Men-esque with the blue and gold, but then the blue hair. I mean, yeah, it looks. I mean, that looks rad. I don't care. I don't care if you don't like AI. I still think it looks cool.
Now I'll change it where I want the anime version. Let's see what the generator does with an anime. Now that really is anime. Yeah. But look, it even gives you some background. The background doesn't really make sense.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure what that background is.
Stuff is happening in the background though.
Yeah, there's like people and like sort of hands, but yeah, it's super.
Yeah. And then here's an artistic approach. But I've mentioned before, like the thing about AI, the power of AI is that it's sampling, thousands. Ooh. Wow, look at that! Yeah. It's sampling photos and art like thousands, millions of samples, which you can never do as an artist with Google. Like literally, the positives for AI art is that you can, the parameters that you would have to put into Google, like if I wanted to do a super hot Anna drawing.
Sure.
And I wanted a city background or whatever. I can't just download this and then print it as a cover or as a pinup. Right. But I could use this as a starting point.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And as long as you are an artist and you know the things that are wrong with this drawing or how to enhance this drawing,
how to fix it, how to tweak it.
Exactly, how to tweak it, how to fix it, how to change things. And to be honest, this is just we got 3 completely different drawings from 2 sentences.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you wanted to, reference specific, bombshell in Tokyo, above Tokyo.
Sure. Yeah, you can add more stuff, more information to get it more specific. No, that's awesome. And like this is the way, and I don't know how people are going to look at this, but this is the way that I would probably want to use it as like a one-off variant cover for fun. So that if the fans that like it and think it's cool, because I kind of get a kick out of seeing some of this art that the AI is doing. because it looks neat. I know it's stealing from other artists or whatever, but like to have a one-off variant cover, if the fans like it, they can get it. It's up to them. It's their choice. That's kind of how I think that I would maybe use it, because it makes some cool looking stuff. I would like a Megan Fox variant cover of Blue Bombshell. I think that might sell a couple of books for me.
Yeah. And you can create it so quickly. Like now I've typed in Megan Fox with large
sure.
blue hair with superhero cape flying over Tokyo. Let's
Oh,
see what
yeah.
it does from an artistic standpoint.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, this is fun. I mean, you can like hate on. Oh, okay, so that's a little bit more of a cartoon, a comic book looking.
Yep.
Still looks like Megan Fox though. That's the cool thing, but it's very much comic. But it's very comic drawn.
Yes, and you literally could just redraw. You could draw over.
Oh yeah, you could go in and tweak that. I would shorten her hair, obviously.
Yeah, and fix the costume.
Fix the costume a little bit, but yeah, you could tweak that in digitally, and come up with something really kind of fun and cool. Yeah, I don't want to see AI like replace comic book artists, but I think in the hands of the comic book artist as like a variant cover or like something, you're not like doing that looks great. Like that's
you're like what fun. What the F? Wait a minute, how fast was that?
Yeah.
And what's
no, granted, it could replace the comic book artist if they're doing it this easy, this simple. So I guess I should be careful of what I talking about. But look at the like red cape just floating out there.
But some of people's favorite cover artists that are doing work for DC.
Oh, they don't even realize this is
what they're doing. They're doing
guys doing AI art for 20 years.
Yeah, the only difference is that they're really good colorists. So they
go over and they digitally tweak stuff, but there's dudes that have been doing AI art for comic book covers for a long time that people just didn't realize. Like they were ahead of the game, knowing how to use this AI stuff. Now the rest of us are just catching up to it now.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, those guys probably hate that this has come out because now they're all going to be exposed. But yeah, to have a variant cover on here. Oh, geez, look at that.
Oh, look at this. We turned her into Supergirl.
She turned into Supergirl. Like this. That looks great. Dude, is fun.
That shot is amazing.
That is amazing because, I could go in there and digitally tweak the S out of there and turn it into the boob window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, that's fun stuff. I got it full screen. Let's hear what the chat thinks about here. Let me go through animated has bigger titties. So I want to hear what the chat thinks about like just an AI variant for Comicsgate books. Like I know there's a lot of AI hate out there. We don't want AI to like steal work from real comic book artists, but like my thought would be doing a really cool AI variant. Would people be for that, or would you think it'd be stealing away? And this would be on my own book that I'm drawing myself. I've got my own variant covers, drawing the interior. This would be just like I would do one AI variant just for fun because I think it'd be neat. But I kind of want to know what people think about that. I think your boy Zach will eventually do an AI. I could see that. They're tracing AI art. I don't know how AI works. I think they take from bits and pieces, but there is a creation process because they're stealing from a lot of different stuff and then mix. Oh, here we go.
I think it's funny how I said 4 American soldiers
and you got 3.
I got 3 in the desert though. We'll see if it's.
You got to put like 4 super muscled American soldiers because you guys in Death Raider, they're jacked.
Oh yeah.
They're yoked. Oh, that's way more photorealistic there.
Yeah. What if I put super soldiers?
I would put super or muscle something.
Lost in downtown Kabul. Now I'm gonna switch to anime so it can really
Oh
juice it
yeah.
up. I switched over mid thought, so I might have freaked it out. Yeah, I gotta hit generate again.
It's amazing how simple this program is, though.
Uh, now I did it earlier today before we got on the show, and I did 5 tries,
Yep.
and I was trying to get like exoskeleton for American future soldiers with
Mm-hmm.
exoskeletons. Um,
Did that work when you put more stuff in there, or did it just get confused?
uh, sometimes it would just ignore.
Oh, it ignored what it didn't.
It does a lot better when you keep it one person. And
Yeah.
to be honest, the point of this is for if you wanted to reference stuff.
Yeah.
So you need 4 of them. So if I was just looking for different ideas for design work,
It's great. This I dabbled a little bit with Midjourney,
Mhm.
and I was just using the free trial, just like when everybody was talking about AI. I just wanted to see what it did and how it worked. It was the free trial, so it was like everything was kind of more generic, not finished off when I would put something in there. Like this is way more. Oh, so there's a little bit more sci-fi to it now.
Oh yeah, especially when you ask for it to be anime.
Yeah.
But I actually did get one, and I mentioned it to you before we came on a line. I actually got one illustration that was actually, see, you can tell how you have to fight with it a little bit, and you
Oh
have to
yeah.
be specific. Because look at now, it's stuck on the 4 soldiers, even though I'm not asking
Yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
4
It's keeping
soldiers
that
anymore.
4 soldiers in there.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably because I'm not clearing it.
Yeah.
I'm just
It
adding
keeps the
stuff
kind
to
of
it.
earlier.
But
That's cool.
I actually got a really, really cool. I got one really cool design with the exoskeleton,
Yeah.
and I got one really cool design out of it with helmet and like headgear, like
Oh
a
yeah.
future soldier headgear. So from that standpoint,
Oh yeah. Just stealing ideas. Hey, if the AI can steal from us, we can steal back from the AI. Right?
well, dude. I mean, that's exactly my point. Like, because
Yeah.
like literally, you type in something that takes you 30 seconds to type,
Yeah.
and then it takes 10 seconds to look, and you can look at the drawing and go, the illustration and go, well, that kind of sucks, but I like those knee pads, or that
Like
kind of
yeah,
sucks, but
like some
yeah,
aspect of it is something like and that I mean, comics has been stealing from earlier comics. Like that's
yeah,
the history of comics is artists liking earlier artists and like imitating or mimicking or just downright stealing, people's earlier art, and it's like it's frowned upon, but it's 100% part of comic book history. Like there's so many artists out there that are influenced by early artists, and then you go back to those earlier artists and you realize they're influenced by even earlier artists. Like it's a generational thing.
mm-hmm.
It's all influenced by other stuff. So it's just part of being a comic book artist, really. And
And
AI
the,
is just going to become a part of this too, because it kind
yeah,
of is doing a slightly similar thing.
like if I took this piece and went into it with Adobe Photoshop,
Yeah.
it tweaked it, but didn't tweak it enough where I'm really messing with stuff. It's also colored already.
Oh yeah. Oh
So
right.
you
Yeah.
would have a full color illustration, from so it's you just
Here's the
can't be
other.
the guy that who reproduces makes prints of this
Yeah.
and then says, "Oh yeah, I did this."
The other thing. Here's the other thing. Going through and creating a comic book, even if you're using AI, creating a book, writing a story, generating all that artwork, those pages, putting it all together, getting the book to the printer, getting people interested enough that they actually buy the book. I mean, you're going to be hard pressed with an AI book. There's going to be people that aren't going to back that just because of that
Yeah.
alone. And then getting it actually made and making money off of it enough to where you're shipping it out to people. Like if you can do that, God bless you. Because like
Well,
it is
I,
a hard thing to do all that stuff.
can you imagine the trying to the consistency? Get that?
Oh
Can you
yeah, every
imagine if
panel is gonna
you
look different.
Yeah, like you'd have to be a professional colorist anyways.
Yeah, AI, like,
Fixing
yeah, you
stuff.
can
You'd be fixing
pop all
stuff.
these images up, but every one is like a slightly different style, and it doesn't tell a story. It's just a
No.
still image.
I like this
So,
guy in the background. He doesn't even have anything that resembles a gun.
yeah,
This character,
yeah,
her stock is all fucked up, and
yeah, yeah, and like
her
AI is
scope is
notorious for that.
mhm.
There's always some weird aspect of it. So
Mhm.
yeah, like the fears of AI just like stealing jobs from artists, I think those are far fetched. I mean, maybe it'll happen at some point, but I have yet to see anybody create a comic book that's AI generated and make money off of it. If anybody's seen one, send me a link so I can check it out. But I have, like, crowdfunding, there's new crowdfunding comics every day. I haven't seen one person do a fully AI generated book yet. That's
Well,
where I think the AI variant cover might be fun because it's just a small little aspect, and then it's up to the fan. If the fan thinks it's cool, if the fan hates AI, they don't have to buy it. You know?
well, here's the answer. Here's the answer, Clint. Anybody who is that good at using cutting edge technology to create artwork that is sellable,
Yeah,
they are not doing comics.
right.
They are doing commercial art. Like
Exactly.
the
They've got a real job.
the guy who I took over for on Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
that artist, I think it was Jeremy Moore, maybe Jerome Moore.
Oh, was it the
Um,
guy that kind of looked like Jim Lee?
yes, his
Jeremy
covers
something. Yeah.
his covers
He
really look like Jim Lee.
he was doing something. There was like he was doing something. I don't want to say what he was doing, but it looked a lot like Jim Lee, except without the Scott Williams rendering. But
Yes.
bodies and faces looked very Jim Lee. Jeremy Roberts. But
Okay, is that it?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. But I heard he left because it wasn't a good enough paying job, and he went back to commercial art.
Well, that's what he did. Is he couldn't make the deadlines on Suicide Squad because his commercial art job was he was making more. He kept getting busier and busier and making more and more
Sure.
money. He
Yep.
could not do the comic book work. But dude, some of the things that he was doing, like I remember, like as I'm working on the Suicide Squad pages and looking at his pages for reference, he was using because he was doing it all on the computer.
Yep.
And at one point when he couldn't make the deadlines, he was finishing off Tom Derenick's layouts because that's what I was doing. I was finishing off Tom
Oh, okay.
Derenick's
Okay.
layouts, but he was doing brush work, and he was doing brush work where the brushwork had grid textures in the
Yeah.
brush lines. So one panel would have the detail that you would see in a full size poster. So
Uh-huh.
the detail that he was doing, because he was doing that, he was doing fade outs with the brush with that grid texture that was in a brush line. The
Yep.
stuff was so cool and it was so amazing. And you're like, and what happened to him? He went to make 10 times the money in commercial art.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And he was doing this amazing textures and stuff that, 2 years later, the European guys are ripping off poorly and
Yep.
working on Batman.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So
No, it goes to show you. It's like.
yeah, like what the two of the most popular comic book artists at Marvel and DC draw on the computer and there's no original art. Okay,
Who,
that's smart.
who's that?
Isn't it that Pepe or Perez or
No.
I
Okay.
I don't even
Yep.
buy their work, so
Yeah.
I just know he just came back to Batman. They
I
online made a big deal
remember
he's back.
the dude that was on X-Men. That was one of Brian Bendis's guys. I sat next to him at Chicago Wizard World. Or no, it was C2E2 probably. David Marquez, does that sound right?
No, this is no.
No,
The guys.
I'm talking about a guy I talked to.
Okay. I
And
don't.
I think that's who it was. And he was
Okay.
doing all digital. And I asked him, it looks great, beautiful work. I'm like, well, what about original art? Like, these are X-Men pages, like, and that was the whole thing about digital to me is like, if you're working on a Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, X-Men, that original art is going to
Is
double.
worth more
It's
than
going
the
to double
page
your.
rate.
Yeah, you're going to make more off of that when your page rate is.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Well, I'll make prints of it, and then I'll do a limited number signing, and I'll remark them." And I'm like, collectors. It's like it's a great thought. Collectors aren't going to pay, especially if you're
$3,000.
doing multiples. If you're doing
Yeah.
multiple printouts, it's like a Xerox.
Yeah. If
like,
you have a cover and you have the original, and you can, because you're a popular artist on a popular X book, and you could sell that original for $3,000, you can't make 6 prints of the computer version and sell those for $500 a piece.
No, nobody's gonna. Yeah, nobody's
no,
gonna pay
they're
that
not. Collectors aren't going to pay a premium like that for.
And what it's going to
really
do
nice
is it's going to make the people that are still doing traditional with an inker and on Bristol board, those pages, if it's a good book, if it's a Batman, it's a Superman, X-Men, whatever, Spider-Man, whatever's popular right now, those pages are going to go through the roof because there's so many of these artists that are doing digital just to hit their deadlines. And they're maybe doing original art for the cover, but then interiors, there's just cranking through it. If you get original art on like a big name character, those pages are going to become even more valuable just because so few people are doing interiors with original art anymore. So it's going to skyrocket the prices of modern day stuff now too, just because of the limited amount of people doing it. So
yeah, I've noticed that with covers, guys, that you can tell that the digital inside, it's all digital inside, and then the cover, because the inks are really shitty and really rough, and you're like, oh, he wants to sell his cover. So that's actually
I remember the classical. You get the awesome cover, and then you read the interior of the comic, and it's like, this is not the same artist. This is garbage. Well, should we crack into a box of Superiors and?
Oh yeah, let's see it, man. Let's see it.
We'll pull the AI up, one more time, just because we'll throw some fun. We'll throw some fun, crazy stuff in there and see what AI comes up with. Because
you tell me, you tell me what to type.
I want to try and do one. So let me pull this down. We'll go. What's good? Oh, I should have brought these even closer, but I think you can see me there, Rob.
Oh yeah, yep. I can see. We can see you.
So this is I got the first batch of Superiors books here. So shipping will start on Monday.
Ooh.
My favorite time of year, shipping time. Oh, jeez. Oh, Jesus.
We're gonna watch
Clint
hurt himself.
Well, that's bigger. That's bigger than they usually block them in 25s. Oh. This has got to be like 50 books here.
This is like an unboxing.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just curious because I've never gone through this process yet. So I'm totally,
Yeah, they usually don't come in this big of bricks. Mm-hmm. It's usually they come in like bricks of 25 or 20. Probably more often 20, but this almost seems like 40 or 50.
I wonder if they're trying to save on plastic, or maybe they have a machine that can block them up.
They probably just, so whatever is most efficient.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which book this is, so.
It literally could be someone had a large print run, so they were blocking them up in larger sizes, and then they printed off your stuff to be blocked up, and the guy's like, oh.
I literally can't hear anything over the bubble wrap, right?
Oh. All right, so it's me talking to myself.
Bubble wrap is loud as hell. All right, we're getting close. So are all those dividers? So they might have, they've got new dividers on there too. Easily remove this CWS protective micro perforated cover. Oh, I kind of remember. So they've got a new thing with the printer. They've got these like micro sheets for each individual cover to protect
Oh.
the original cover. So I opted for that. It wasn't that much more expensive. So like you can tell, like this white thing is the micro sheath. So quantity says 11 books in this packet. So this is where I got to be a little bit more careful now.
Now, do you pull that cover? Do you leave that white cover?
This is the first time I've gotten the white cover. So actually,
okay.
for shipping, for Save the Bubble Wrap, I do. For shipping, I might leave these micro sheath covers on there, just an added level of protection.
Oh yeah, smart.
For the customer. So it's actually this is the first batch of books I've gotten where the printers offered this. So this is
Who's
kind
your
of
printer?
Greco.
Greco. Okay.
Yep, I use Greco I've used Greco for all of my stuff. To me, they're by far the best. They do a great job. Quick turnaround. I swear by Greco. Whenever anybody asks me, it is it is like a condom. Save the bubble wrap. It's like a condom. So see which book. Oh, here we go. So we'll peel the first one off here so everybody can see. So yeah, look at this nice micro sheath on here. So perfectly protected.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I did not win the lotto last night, folks. So Death Raider isn't going to be turned into a hardcover for everyone. Sorry.
Oh, it's a little shiny. So Superior's #1.
Oh.
Right.
Can you
there.
move in closer?
It gets too shiny, I think. You can. Oh, there.
Your camera might be able to focus
if
you give it a second.
How's that look?
Okay, that looks pretty good right there. Now back off a little. And now stop. Wait and see if your camera will refocus. Okay, no, it won't. All right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Looks awesome, dude. Now are those perfect bound or are they staple?
It's staple. I don't do perfect bound because this is what I'll tell everybody about perfect bound is it looks great on your bookshelf, but when you read it, if you have double page spreads, it's terrible because you can't open the book all the way without.
Or
if you open the book all the way to read a double page spread, it cracks the spine. So, and I love a good double page spread in my comics, especially art wise. So I did a couple perfect bounds early on, and I stopped doing it after I realized that. So I strictly stick with staple now. So,
what does chat think about that? Because I actually have listed as perfect bound on Death Raider, but everyone keeps telling me, and I do have a bunch of double page spreads in Death Raider. Do you guys want me to switch to staple, or do you want it kept perfect bound, just for how it sits in how it looks in the bag and board or sits on your shelf?
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like everybody kind of has a different. For me, I like being able to open the book all the way.
Yeah.
But
actually read it.
But also for collectors, you want that nice. I mean, that square bound edge, especially when you got your bookshelf full, all your trades and everything. Yeah, like I can see both sides of it for sure.
Then I guess because I said perfect bound, I'll just have to do perfect bound, and then I'll just see what the just the reviews or what people say after they get the books, and go from there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's just kind of you kind of learn as you go, like what works better, what people like more, that kind of thing.
Oh, Randy says if you have more than 64 pages, you can't do staple anyways.
Yeah, once you get to a bigger size book, I think 64 is probably it. And then anything bigger than that goes into a trade paperback kind of basically. So
which is all perfect bound.
Yeah.
Yeah, Death Raiders is exactly 64 pages. I've got a couple ideas for something where it goes the larger page count, because I originally wanted it to be 100 pages, but we didn't make those stretch goals. So, but I'll talk about that later. sometime in October. I have a Death Rider surprise. Oh, we'll switch over and you will tell me. All right, I'm gonna clear it out. Here we go. And do you want realistic, Clint, or do you want anime or?
I want to do realistic.
Okay. Yep,
let's do realistic.
Yep.
Let's do Sydney Sweeney, blue hair, Power Girl costume, flying above city buildings. Oh, can you put short blue hair?
Yes. Should I be putting? Does chat know if I should be putting commas between that?
Yeah,
between the stuff?
It didn't seem to matter when you were doing it before.
No, but I know how Google using quotes and commas. So we'll see. We'll generate and see what we have. Who's Sydney Sweeney?
Oh, she's the hot actress now from that Euphoria show.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
She's a hot blonde that shows her boobs in the. Oh, that doesn't look like Sydney Sweeney though, but that's a cool pose, except for the leg sticking out of her.
Oops! Did I click off of her by accident?
I'm not sure what happened there. You had it for a second.
I did. I was trying to close out. I was trying to close out some of the other windows.
Oh, sure.
Because I've noticed that I have a pile of them, and I was wondering if that was why they were influencing.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to.
I still like that Megan Fox one.
I do too. Yeah. This one's pretty good too.
Yeah, they're both good.
All right.
Yeah, that's not terrible. You get the costume a little bit more accurate, and even that one is cool. And it's like, it looks very
ready
much
for comic books.
Yeah, it looks very much hand drawn. I like the costume design too.
Yeah. All right. We'll do this again. Maybe I spelled her name wrong, her last name wrong. Sydney Sweeney, short blue hair, and I'll just say superhero costume.
Okay.
Oops. Flying over. Let's pick a specific city. Chicago?
Oh, sure.
All right. We're gonna go with artistic to start. It did the short blue hair though well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, very
Oh, when you say superhero, it immediately thinks Superman, doesn't it?
Yeah, but cool picture. and that very much looks like certain artists. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, dude, you see that and you're like, oh, who's trying to rip off Adam Hughes?
No, that to me that's a little bit of Lionel Yu. Like the eyebrows and the way he does the hair is very, very, very much a little bit of Lionel Hugh in there. That looks cool.
Yeah, I know, dude. Look, it's a new Superwoman character.
Yeah, it's a superhero. Yeah, they made it Superman.
And
but
my page is.
Oh, did you freeze up? Are you there, Rob? We might have lost Rob. His AI is taking over. Rob has been corrupted by the AI. Oh, yeah. Randy's got the correct spelling. How about trying Christy Canyons? That would have been good, too. Oh, guys, we may have lost Rob. Rob, you're also offering digital edge. Take care of double page spread problems. We'll give Rob a chance here to come back. Some printers are better than others. Print Ninja seems to be one of the best. Yeah, I've heard good things about Print Ninja. Oh, yeah, we lost Rob. We'll see if he can track back here or not. Yeah, I've used Greco for all of my books, and Greco has been really good to me. So I pretty much stick with them and swear by them now. But yeah, I think the AI the AI has perhaps Rob is an AI. Rob is AI generated. He's not a real person, so we may have lost him for good. We'll give him a shot here to come back, but otherwise we'll probably wrap it up for the night. If he doesn't get back here, I want to thank everybody. Oh no, it crashed my browser. Rob's in the chat. I'll be back ASAP. Okay. No problem. We got Rob coming back. It crashed his browser. Now that you're full screen again, show the book again. Okay. So, yeah, I'm kind of looking at, they've got the little protective corner things. I'm just kind of checking that out, but we got the superiors here. Take a look at the interior pages. I got to hold it back a little bit. Just the shine, it kind of gets, yeah, everything looks great on it. You guys can see that all right. New comic book smell. So yeah, everything looks great. I'm gonna start shipping these out on Monday, and then so I'm gonna have to put an update note out to everybody, because what's happening is I'll put an ad for the next book out, and this happened with Slave Girl. Also, I had an ad for the Superiors on the back of Slave Girl, and people were getting the books and messaging me saying that they got the Superiors book when they were supposed to get the Slave Girl book, because like the back was turned, or they got it, and hadn't looked inside the sleeve yet. And so they were like worried they got the wrong book. So I'm gonna have to put a note out for everybody that this is just the ad, so you need to actually take it out of the bag and board, and the comic is actually the correct comic you're getting there. So yeah. Hoping we got Rob back. Let me pull Rob back up here. I figured the AI got you.
Like, AI generator didn't like. I got in a fight with my Microsoft Edge browser.
You can't talk bad about AI, or AI will take you down.
It's exactly what happened. We were having too much fun with the AI.
Oh, I know. The AI wanted, like, AI is like, where's my spot on the show? I'll get rid of Rob. That's what we need. We need a third window, and it's just AI over there telling us its thoughts and opinions.
Yep.
Oh no! Not again.
Going at us.
Oh, that was just a pause. It was just a pause.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, that might have been. So I'm on the new internet now.
Oh,
I still have the old internet.
Sure.
But this is T-Mobile 5G.
Okay.
And I've noticed some random pauses.
Sure.
But it doesn't die for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I've got a 2-week trial to see if,
Yeah. No, that's a good.
It's affected so bad.
That's a good thing. This does seem to be working better, as long as AI doesn't decide to just fuck with you. So.
Yeah. Oh. We were having too much fun designing.
Like throwing some Blue Bombshell stuff on there. And I like. Should we pull it up one more time, and
sure.
we'll risk it, and if it shuts us down, then we'll just shut the show down.
Okay, I'll present again. Share screen. Okay. Share screen. And AI generator, share.
I'm trying to think of a good actress.
What about who's the blonde one? She's the model, the boobylicious one.
I'd seen ones with her as Power Girl.
Sports Illustrated girl.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what her name is now.
I'm blanking.
She was in that movie with
the 2 other actresses.
Yeah, I can't think of they were all the ex-girlfriends of the one guy. It was a funny movie. Not Kat Denning. She's married to the baseball pitcher. Oh, what's her name?
All right. Well, I'm gonna just type in this while chat tells you.
Kate Upton.
Yes.
Let's use Kate Upton. Kate Upton
All
would be
right.
perfect.
All right. I have to wait. Okay, that's just well. There's a
That's
hand
not.
coming out of her cape.
Look at the hand. Look at the weird hand up there. And look at her crotch. Look at her crotch.
Yeah.
That's
She got something going on.
weird. That's weird and creepy. So here, yeah, delete everything. Delete everything.
All right, there. Kate Upton, superhero with short blue hair.
Do it. Okay. Oh, this
It'll
is
only take
anime.
a second.
We should try. Well, we'll try realistic next.
Okay.
I think they do the photo stuff. Oh, that's not bad.
Oh wow,
though.
that's a great face.
Yeah, that looks cool. I love the face.
Mm-hmm. And the eyes. Look at that. The
I
color job is already done.
Yeah, I love how the cape is just sort of wrapped around her shoulder.
Now we'll do realistic.
There's always some weird aspect to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, dude,
yeah,
all the soldier stuff that I did earlier, all the guns look melted.
Oh god,
or they had double stocks.
Yeah, it's such an odd thing. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Look at that.
They didn't quite go blue enough on her hair, but
no,
there's a blue tinge to it.
Yeah,
that's not terrible though.
Would you like to see her flying?
Sure. It does look kind of like Kate Upton.
Yeah, it does. Can you imagine how long it would take you working from photos?
Oh, I don't know that I can do. Oh,
it's Kate Upton, Captain Marvel.
I like the jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting how they do this stuff and that they can slap that all together so quickly.
Dude.
Here we go.
Yeah. Punching robot.
So this is like a program that you download and you pay a subscription for. Oh, that looks cool.
That she's supposed to be punching the robot, but look at that cool looking fist.
Yeah,
no, the right one looks cool. The left one is all effed up.
The device on the fist and everything,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't do action very well. It does.
No,
it does still poses and pinups better. I don't think you get a lot of if you give it an action to do.
So it's like present day artists.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's present day Marvel and DC artists. They don't do action very well. What's amazing is up to 4,000 characters. So, wow, look at her as a robot.
Oh yeah, then they make her into a robot. So I like
Instead
the
of
blue
punching a
hair though.
robot.
That's good blue hair on her.
Yeah. Yep. Just look at that robot tech though.
Oh, I know. That's insane. And how
cool.
realistic they make it look, like movie quality kind of thing.
Yeah, dude, that's really scary.
Yeah, that's where it's like you can do some impressive shit there. That that one earlier, she was very shaved. Oh, that's wild.
I want to see what Kate Upton looks like punching the Hulk. Yeah. She punched
right through him.
She punched his hand off. How did she do that?
Oh, and look at his hand. His hand is over here. Oh, that is freaking. And look at how messed up her fist is.
Look how big that thumb is.
Oh my god.
It's like a toe thumb.
Here, I want to try this, and I want to see what it does if I pick a specific artist.
Okay.
Do blue-haired female superhero with cape in the style of John Byrne. Will it do that kind of thing, or do you need to put something?
I don't think so, because that's why we're picking realism
Oh,
anime
can you switch it to? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's either it won't let you pick the style of artist, I suppose. Yeah.
no.
Okay.
I'm still gonna type it in and see what it does. And I will pick. I'll
Maybe if you
change
go
it to
artistic, or is there?
artistic,
Yeah, artistic. Maybe try that.
and let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, it's taking longer. It confused
Yeah.
me.
Well, it's not John Byrne, but it's cool.
It's blue-haired sorceress supreme.
Yeah, no, definitely some Doctor Strange elements, and yeah,
Yep.
I mean that's a nicely drawn thing. Whatever artist they stole that from,
Or multiple
it
artists.
almost looks more like Brian Boland from like Camelot. What was it, Camelot 3000 or whatever, or
Yeah.
something like that. Not quite John Byrne, but it's very cool.
Now, if I get rid of the John Byrne
Oh yeah,
description,
then it gives it a little bit more freedom.
I think so.
Oh,
Oh,
well, it goes
look at what
back
it
to
did.
Superman again. Yeah.
Yeah. You say superhero, it thinks Superman.
Yeah, it reads Superman basically, which I get. That's fine. I love how weird it makes the capes though. Like they're all wrapped around and they've got extra flaps and straps under the arm.
Yeah, oh yeah. I wonder what
Oh,
if
I
we
can
make
see
an
how this would be
anime.
just fun to tinker with, especially when you're just trying to design characters and come up with different ideas and stuff.
Oh yeah, like there is a on Instagram
Oh, that's very
that's
manga. Oh, anime. Yeah.
yeah, it's very generic too. But where I on Instagram, one of the profiles I follow on Instagram, the guy just does like, super jacked up Tiger Man with
Oh,
armor,
yeah.
and it comes across like really like, oh, that is a great design, like you just know, and the profile is AI art,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and from that perspective, like, oh dude, that's just a super cool giant tiger character. If I ever wanted to design a giant tiger character,
Yeah.
that just the elements. And honestly, I know that when I design characters, the biggest problem I have is because I'm still, as an artist, I'm still fairly new, um, as a penciler, that
Hmm.
I always fight with my proportions a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So if I can look at something like
Get a
that and
reference.
go,
Yeah.
I'll start a really, decent starting point, like,
Yeah.
oh,
It
that
makes a
looks really
huge
cool.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And those are just great tools to use just to like better yourself as an artist. Cause yeah, it's like, it's easy to like anatomy and proportions and stuff. And especially, like when you're doing layout and, um, perspective with buildings and everything. So yeah, to be
Hmm.
able to have some tools to kind of help you out with that stuff makes a huge difference in the quality you
Exactly.
can put out in your art.
And that's how people should see this. They should
Oh yeah, totally.
see it as a reference tool, not as
Yeah.
a finished illustration. You should just use it for ideas,
Yeah. Yeah.
a starting point, if you like, because all of a sudden you can look at that and go, well, she's all messed up. She's looks,
Her neck. She doesn't have a neck apparently.
no, and her hair looks like it's been pasted on.
Yeah.
But you're like, I kind of like the shot with the really
Yeah,
low
there's
of the city, and then you could just start a
and
piece from
like
there.
if you needed a dynamic pose for a woman, like the legs are anatomically
Hmm.
correct, like you could like mess with the upper torso and yeah.
Yep.
No, for reference and stuff, yeah, it's
Yeah. All right. We're gonna ask Kate Upton. Oops. Let's see if we can see
oh yeah.
Kate Upton flying over Tokyo. And as we've talked about, you can see where they
Oh,
dude,
that's cool.
that's great. I like
That,
how they just added the
yeah,
weird
what is that?
dragonfly.
What is that plane in the background? Or I can't tell what the plane is, but that's a super cool looking
Her hair looks
character.
great.
The hair looks awesome. Her body and her arms.
Yep.
The cape just
So,
hanging over so you can't quite see her ass as much as you'd like to.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great shot right there. I would just go in with an airbrush and get rid of that plane, and then put the logo right behind her head where her head overlays the logo.
Yep.
That would be a very cool Blue Bombshell cover.
And make her titties bigger.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I could Photoshop the titties bigger.
So it's you know, it's another tool, and that's how
I might have to get the. I might have to get this so I can tinker around with it myself, because yeah, it's just fun messing around with it. Oh, and even that's fun. That's cool looking.
Yeah, dude, that's a great city shot. That
it is. That's a really good
5
city
seconds.
shot, because it's got that photo curve to it.
Yeah,
that's
I don't know why
really
there's an explosion.
Thing. Yeah,
there's an explosion down by her ass.
Yes. We'll ignore that.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are great. I know everybody's like, oh, I hate AI, blah blah blah, but yeah, like I could tinker around with this and just have fun looking at the crazy stuff that it comes up with. So
yeah,
absolutely.
No one wants to buy a comic book where it's just this, where the guy just sat and is gotten good at the prompts. But
no,
anybody who uses this just like any other tool.
If you're trying to tell a story with this, it's going to look weird, it's going to look wonky, and it's going to look generic throughout the story. For a fun splash page, for a fun cover, like variant cover, like I think it can work like that, just to add an aspect or something. Because some of these are really like cool looking, but for an overall comic book, I don't think it'll work in the long run.
No, and it teaches you the cheats for trying to draw real people.
Oh yeah.
You know, so if you wanted to base one of your characters on an actor or an actress or a model, and you actually are having a little bit of trouble drawing, you know, I mean, you don't want to draw like photorealistic, you know,
no, but you can
comic.
Lightbox some images and then break down how the face is structured and just freehand draw it off of that.
Yeah.
So like.
And AI will help you too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that 100%. And like, get the different angles and stuff, and not have photo reference. You can use this, and definitely for a tool for drawing for guys that are like just trying to like build up their art skills. I think there's definitely a beneficial aspect to it. So, it's just how you want to use it. But yeah, there are definitely uses for this as a comic book artist that I can see clearly. I don't think it'll replace, and I don't want it to replace comic book artists, but I think it can be, like you said, a useful tool, and the occasional variant or like fun pinup or something in a book. You're not using it to sell the book, but like you're using it as just a fun extra kind of thing. So
Randy's question is what we just ran into. It doesn't see Jack Kirby poses. It doesn't see our artists with names as
I don't
part
think
part of its reference.
It like generic. It like, even when I've seen it use like an artistic line, I can't quite tell who the artist is. It fudges it enough where it's not obvious that it's this artist or another artist. It's kind of a generic blend of stuff, which I think is kind of what AI kind of does. It takes a lot of stuff and merges it into kind of a generic thing that you got to give it the specifics for. So
you just don't want to be the guy who takes this and makes illustrations out of it and makes prints out of this. And
try to do that. Yeah, you're selling prints of these at the con. Like,
you're like, come on, dude.
Yeah, that's going to get frowned upon real fast. So
you have to at least learn digital coloring so you can turn this into Supergirl and it's a DC cover.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what some of our favorite cover artists. That's all they did. They're
Yeah.
really good at being colorists.
Right. Well, with on that note, I think we covered a lot of the topics that we had planned tonight, and the AI stuff was fun. So I'm glad you pulled that in here, Rob. I got a kick out of that. So now I kind of want to tinker with it myself. So
poor Hulk. Poor Hulk.
Oh yeah, loses his hand, and then Kate Upton fist right through the chest. That's gonna leave a mark.
Come on, AI. You got to learn. You got to show the faces. When you're
Kate
doing an
Upton
illustration, you got to
kicked his
show
ass
the
worse than
faces.
Wolverine.
Yeah. He got his fist punched off, and we didn't even get to see his face. What kind of drawing was that?
No, there was no face there at all. Yeah. So, but I think we will wrap it up for the night. Fun show tonight. Thanks to the chat, everybody, for showing up. If you're catching us, if you're catching us on the rewind, hit that like and subscribe button and help us build this channel up. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Randy, Marcus, a couple of new faces in here tonight. Always love seeing new faces. Randy's got links to Death Raider and the Maidens of Mayhem sign up. They're also in the description below the video here. So definitely go back, Death Raider, and then sign up for the mailing list for Maidens of Mayhem, which will be launching in 2 weeks on Art T Bear's channel. We're excited about that. We're excited about Death Raider. And anything to add in here, Rob, before we close her out?
No, that's it, man. Everybody stay tuned. I'll be posting more stuff on Twitter.
Yep. So. And you're usually Monday nights Comics Geek Kings and sometimes Post Kings and stuff. So check Rob out there with all of the Comics Geek Kings on EVS's channel. So I think we covered a lot of bases tonight. Got Superiors in. That'll start shipping this week. So lots of good things to come. And hail Comics Gate, hail the chat. Everybody have a great Sunday night. And we